Hello friends, in the last two classes we have seen 10 different folk arts from India. By looking at them you can make out the difference and the similarities across the country. The similarities being that in many of the folk form the naturally available ingredients are used, the natural colors, and most of them have ritualistic purposes, and they are always accompanied by some or the other ceremonial observation. In the next few classes starting from today we will see the techniques of few folk arts. So, today let us start with Madhubani painting from the Madhubani district of Bihar. So, Madhubani painting, as we have seen in the previous class, it is common to the Mithila region, which now spreads across Bihar of India and in certain parts of Nepal. So, let us see what is some of the techniques used in the Madhubani art form. So, Madhubani art form has had people have interest in Madhubani art in different period of time. It has gained a lot of international recognition. French novelist and journalist Vaise Vauquois has written a book, The Women Painters of Mithila, which was published in 1977. This has given Madhubani painting a wide recognition across the globe. Then German anthropologist and folklorist Erika Moser and American Raymond Lee Owens has established a Master Craftsman Association of Mithila in 1977 and the Ethnic Art Foundation in 1980. The Mithila Art Institute, established in 2003, was set up at the bequest of Owens. So, people across the world have found this art form very appealing, and they have taken measures to propagate, to discuss, and to preserve this art form. Then Japanese Tokyo Hasegawa, this is a museum. In that place Mithila museum in Tokamachi, in Japan there is a museum which is dedicated only to the Mithila art forms, and throughout the year the many paintings from the Madhubani region is being displayed. This museum was established in 1990. So, you see that Mithila painting or the Madhubani painting has had lot of recognition, and it is being talked about, discussed about throughout the world. Madhubani painting has been awarded with a GI, geographical indication tag, by virtue of the typical methodology in which the painting are made as well as its distinct characteristics. So, Madhubani painting has got the GI recognition, that is a recognition given to a particular art form. As against copyright, the GI recognition is given to a community who owns the particular art. So, Madhubani art has been given this recognition. So, as we have discussed in the previous class, that Madhubani art form was actually started as a domestic art, which was practiced by the rural women of Bihar, and they used to paint the walls of their houses, the mud houses, and also the inside walls of the house during auspicious occasion like marriage and festivals. So, this was how it all began, women gathering and doing this kind of very bright and very colorful painting in their walls. And Madhubani painting, which then is called Alipana, is also done on the floors of the houses to welcome auspicious occasions, auspicious ceremonies. So, we have also discussed that Madhubani painting is more often than not accompanied by singing, and it is a kind of a ritualistic process. There is singing, there is a very happy occasion around it. But as time progressed, Madhubani art has also progressed. It has now been painted on various objects coming out from the walls and the floor of rural household. Now, this Madhubani painting has also been painted on umbrellas, as you see, in earthen pots, in decorative items, even shoes now. So, it has been commercially sold, commercially made. The fabrics have also changed. It is done on cloth, it is done on plastic objects, it is done on anything that you can lay your hands on. It is also done in bottles, glass bottles. So, it has gone through a lot of change from where it started from. This is one example. The Madhubani painting is done on saris, which is widely popular. This is Madhubani railway station. of Madhubani district. In 2017, hundreds of Madhubani artists got together and they volunteered to do the entire railway station. And if you visit the railway station in Madhubani, you will find these beautiful paintings done by the artist, and they have done it voluntarily without any remuneration. So, as the time progressed, we see that there have been changes in the themes also that Madhubani addresses. Earlier we saw that it used to talk about only mythological characters, mythological scenes. It would depict Ram Leela, Ras Leela, it would depict Ram and Sita's marriage. But now as time progressed, the artists have started making experiments with the art form. So, this is a painting which shows the female infanticide. You see that it has retained a typical Madhubani the artistic form, but it is talking about various things. It is talking about social issues that are being happening in the society. So, the artist is trying to talk about the crimes in the society, the oppression in the society. This is the abortion clinic where the girl child are being killed even before they are born. The artist is trying to depict how wrong it is through this. This is colonial encounter, how the Indians came, how when the colonial rulers came, what kind of changes happened in India, and this is what the artist is trying to depict. So, the few of the artists have moved away from the traditional themes and they have tried to experiment with modern themes to have a larger appeal, so that people can relate to it. This is one two paintings from a very well known artist from India, Ravi Katakuri. He has been inspired by the Madhubani painting and he has been doing something on its own. He is given a individualistic touch to the traditional Madhubani painting, and this is what the modern form looks like. What this artist have given a modern twist to the traditional art. So, now let us discuss some of the techniques used in Madhubani painting, how the traditionally how the artist used to make Madhubani painting, and what are the peculiarities and the specificities of the doing the painting. So, this is an art form. This is as we have discussed in the previous class that Madhubani has different style. One is Bharini, one is Kachni, one is Godna, Geru and Gobar style. So, this is a Bharni style where the entire space of the canvas is filled with colors. It is made with bright colors and the entire canvas is filled, and you will not see any empty space in it, and the colors are solid colors and they are filled, they are totally filled in the painting. Bharini means filling, as we have discussed earlier, that is, it is a composition with color fills. In this style of painting, the subject is outlined with black and the enclosed area are filled with vibrant colors like blue, yellow, pink, green, orange, etc. The subjects are represented in flat two-dimensional forms and the colors applied flat without any shading. So, there is no shading associated with it, it is totally flat, and colors are solid colors. The skillful artist strike right balance between the patterns and the colors. So, a artist who is skilled, who is well acquainted with the art form, knows how to do the patterns and the colors in right balance. The no shading technique is used, outline is done with double lines. This is very important. Madhubani art always has double lines. It starts with double lines, and the gaps between the two lines are filled with crisscross or straight lines. So, and the gap between the two lines of the outline are filled with again small pattern, lines which might be slanted or it might be straight. So, in the Bharani art form, Hindu deities like Krishna, Ram, Shiva, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Dhanavanti are the common themes. Very special importance is given to Radha Krishna and Krishna Ras Leela. So, in Bharini style of Madhubani painting, Krishna Ras Leela and Krishna's activities are very given much importance. The figures are angular and boldly outlined with bulging fish like eyes and pointed nose. As you can see this, they have pointed nose and they have quite big eyes, big fish like eyes. The figures are angular and boldly outlined with bulging fish-like eyes and pointed noses, while ultramarine blue is used essentially for the figures of Krishna, Rama, Shiva. Tones of yellow are used for Radha, Sita, Parvati, as you can see in this. Radha, Sita, the feminine characters are given yellow color, whereas Shiva, Krishna, Rama are painted with blue color. This is typical of Madhubani Bharni style. The figures are juxtaposed amidst colorful ornate flowers, leafy branches, twisting vines and birds. The sun, moon, the sacred tulsi and basil plant, all revered by Hindus, are also depicted in this painting. So, all that is revered, all that is thought considered religious are depicted in Bharni style painting. So, the second is so I forgot to tell you that Bharni style is typically done by the upper caste women. It was traditionally done by the upper caste women, the Brahmin women. Next come the Kachni style, which used to be done by the Kayastha women, the second in rang after the Brahmin is the Kayastha. So, the women of the Kayastha caste used to do this form of art, and this form of art is represented by lines. You will see various pattern lines in this form of style. You see diagonal lines, if you see straight lines, you see curved lines, angular. Different kinds of line is the peculiarity of this form, this style of Madhubani art. Kachni means lines. It is a black and white composition. In this style of painting, only one or two color, example black or vermilion, is used. So, sometimes there is little bit red, little bit maroon color or vermilion color is used, but mostly it is black and white. The artists draw fine patterns using hatching and stippling to create paintings with the finest details. Double lines are used to depict the outlines, and the gaps between the lines are filled with crisscross or tiny straight lines. Themes are flowers, fish, snakes, in union, bamboo groves, birds, etc., symbolizing fertility and life. This form is appreciated for the complex rendition of details. So, as you see in Bharni style, the mythological figures take the central importance, but in Kachni it is the symbols of fertility and prosperity takes importance, and that is represented by flowers, fish, bamboos, sometimes tortoise. This kind of symbols are important in Bharni in Kachni style of Madhubani painting. This is the Godna style, and this used to be done by the lower caste women of Madhubani region. So, the typical peculiarity of this form is that the repetitiveness. You will see a repetitive pattern that goes on and on. The Geru, Gobar and Godna styles were originally banned from representing religious motifs and themes, because the caste system was quite strong in that region, and the women from that region were not allowed to paint religious motifs. They had to paint something else. So, they used to paint flora and fauna that is found around. Flora and fauna used to be commonly drawn in this style, but with time Hindu gods and goddesses are also painted in this style. So, now there have been lots of experimentation, lots of inflow outflow within the styles themselves. People have experimented with Bharni and Kachni both combined. They have experimented with the Godna style with Bharni style, or Godna style with Kachni style. So, that the strictness that used to be there in the earlier times is being reduced in the present times, and people are giving more importance to the artistic representation rather than the caste based peculiarity associated with this art form. This style commonly paints trees, creepers, flowers and moulded low relief clay figures of deities and animals on external walls of their homes. The most popular and important one among them is the tattoo style painting, or Godna, on limbs and chest of people. They include an auspicious and protective image on the human body, mostly having rows and concentric lines of flowers, fields, animal, deities, done initially by bamboo pen and lampblack ink. So, the Godna style was originally done as tattoo on the bodies, and it was believed that if you have this tattoo, it will protect you from the evil eyes. So, they were done with concentric lines, sometimes circular, as you have seen this one, concentric lines. And it used to be things which they found around, like the animals, or which they thought were auspicious animals that is to be drawn. Here in this painting you see cows, and some birds. So, they used to draw this flora fauna that is found around them, and thought that if it is in your body, if it is painted on your body, they will protect you from the evil forces. So, this style then came to be represented on the walls later on in paper and cloth, and that is the tattoo form, it came to be had now become an visual art form. So, there are many motifs in Madhubani, like as we discussed, there are like lotus, there is fish, there is tortoise, which are very typical of Madhubani, and these have different belief associated with them. So, some of these flora and fauna are very typical, and you will see them being repeated in all the traditional Madhubani forms. One is the fish. So, I thought that today we will discuss a bit about the fish motif. So, this is one way of representing the fish in Madhubani style. Please pay attention to the colors used, the patterns and the lines used. This is another one where this was rather filled with solid colors, and this is more to do with lines. The body of the fish is filled with lines. This is another one with lines. See the use of just one color. Otherwise, the painting is entirely black and white, but there is only one color. This is typically a Kachni style of Madhubani painting. And also observe the border. Every painting has a border. They make sure that there is a border kept and a frame is made. This is another line style Madhubani art. Just pay attention to all the fish. There are 5 fish in this picture, and all the 5 fish have different patterns. This is another fish. So, as I said that lot of experimentation is being done in the recent times. This is somewhat experiment which takes the colors of Bharani style and the lines of Kachni style. So, it is some experimentation done with both the styles. Observe the border here also. So, let us see how a fish is made in typical Madhubani art. So, these are like 12 steps by which the fish can be made. You can try it if you have a pen and pencil with you. I want you to pay a little attention to the lines. Observe here how the fish is made with the angular body. In this you have double, the outline is doubled. It's Madhubani's one typical peculiarity is that it has always has double outlines. Here the mouth of the fish is made. Here a section is made to show the division in the body. One is the head part and other is the the body part, and here the body is started to be shaded, to be filled with patterns. You can also try it. So, here the patterns are being done more elaborately. Here the intricacies are there. So, however much the intricacies are, that depending on that, the beauty of the Madhubani painting lies. If it is more intricate, more nuanced, more finer lines, then the painting has more value. Here the fins are being put. Observed how in Madhubani style the fins are drawn. Here some color is used. Here the tail is also colored. Here the fins are colored, and finally the body is also colored. So, this is a very preliminary style to draw fish in Madhubani style. So, this is what an end product would look like. So, this is another, as I told you, in Kachni style it is only the lines, only a few colors are used. This also looks very nice. Observe the border here, then the fish, and filling of the entire canvas with creepers and flowers. This is very peculiar and very typical of Madhubani art, that you do not leave any empty space, you fill it with some pattern or the other. So, some of the peculiarity or some of the specificity of Madhubani art is the double line and the border. One of the most important Madhubani feature is double line, double outlines. As I told you, see here, please observe this double outline. Double outline create an authentic Indian pattern, as if you will see that in most of the Indian paintings the outline is always has double outline, the lines are always doubled. The outline is usually left uncolored in order to create a visual depth and harmony. Sometimes outlines can be filled with vertical lines or have more outlines for a grander impression. There can be more than two lines in the in the figures. It gives a more grander impression, it gives a more nuanced impression. Border. A Madhubani painting will be incomplete without a border. Border can be narrow for small paintings and wide for big paintings. In most border designs, a double outline is drawn from the inside and the middle is filled with repeating patterns. Observe the border of this painting. Now, let us see some of the patterns used in Madhubani painting. So, these are the various leaves. Observe in all the leaves there are double outlines like this one. Then they are filled, either you leave it, you make it thicker, you make the outlines thicker by filling the gap between the two, or you leave them like this. So, these are the various patterns of leaf that are used in Madhubani painting, and the shading and the line pattern gives them the it makes them nuance and gives them the specificity. These are flowers used in Madhubani painting. Observe the various kinds of flowers. So, this is a human figure drawn in Madhubani art. So, there can be a side profile and there can be a front profile also. As we discussed earlier, in Madhubani painting, more often than not, they have wide eyes, big eyes like the fish, the shape of a fish, and the noses are always pointed. See how the dresses are being patterned just by shading in different lines. Here the patterns are different. These are some of the typical border used in Madhubani art. Please have a look at each of them. Look at how a triangle is used here, and a triangle is used here differently. So, Madhubani art is filled with geometrical patterns. The patterns are used differently, and the shading and the lines give them the make one different from the other. So, this is a black and white example of borders. This is a colored. After doing the border, you can also they also fill the empty spaces with colors, which gives a more vibrant look. Observe the lotus here, the creepers here, and the geometrical patterns here. So, friends, today we have seen the techniques of Madhubani painting. You can try it if you like, but I want to make you aware that a folk artist is doesn't become a folk artist in a day. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of practice to gain the nuances. But the beauty of folk art is that it does not have a code, it does not have a standard. So, we can work in that area and try our hand in doing folk art, but it does not mean that we have become expert in that art. We can try our hand, but folk art is as much of the artist than as much it is of the art form. So, the artist has as much importance in folk art as the art itself. So, with this I stop today. In the next class we will see another art and its technique. Thank you so much.